call the roll, please?
Robert Kraus,
Present.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Scott Singer,
Here.
Terry Kavner,
Here.
David Roberts,
Here.
Mark Ham,
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here. Would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you very much. Item C is receive a flag from Senator Anthony Sykes on behalf of Miami Ford.
Thank you, Mayor and members. I've brought with me Senator David Holt from Northwest Oklahoma City, who is the person who is responsible for this flag. And what this flag is, it is from the city of Miami. It is their city flag, and it has been signed by
Depends on who you want to show it to.
It has been signed by their first responders, police and fire, and city employees, and it is a gift from Mr. Andrew Markowitz, who grew up here in the metro, grew up with Senator Holt, as a matter of fact. That's a connection there. And I have it and the letter that Senator Holt transmitted it to my office. And City of Miami, of course, is no stranger to natural disasters, having been through Hurricane Andrew and other things. And anyway, this has been signed by them and was forwarded to my office. And it's my honor to present it to the greatest city council in the state of Oklahoma and the mayor. So with that,
Appreciate that.
You guys are kind of crowded behind Senator.
Thank you. All right, very good. Thank you. Thanks, we will appreciate that. Thanks, Senator. Good to see you. Thanks, Ed. Thanks. Oh, right here, I'm sorry. Okay, at this time, I would like to have Christy Hill from Walgreens go up.
Hi, my name's Christy Hill. I'm with Walgreens. I'm the manager of the Walgreens on 12th and Santa Fe. But I'm here to invite you guys. We're super excited that we will be reopening our location on 19th and Santa Fe in less than 2 months from the tornado. So we're inviting you to our grand reopening on July 19th. And we want to make this a celebration of the resilience of the city of Moore and do as much as we can for our community. So on that day, our Walgreens Wellness Bus will be there with free health testing to anybody in the public. They'll test their blood pressure, their blood glucose, their bone density, and their BMI. I was like, there's something else. And their BMI. And we just want to invite you as our city officials to come if you can and check out our facility. We've gutted it and redone the entire inside. We have new equipment. And we're just excited and we're very grateful for what the city of Moore has done, and we're here to stay.
Well, thank you very much. You guys have done an excellent job on that building, by the way. I saw it right after it happened, and it was pretty bad.
We've worked really hard, and we've had people from other states come and help us, because we're not, we have stores and others with the Joplin tornado and the hurricanes and stuff, so we're just blessed that we work with a company that we have a team that knows what to do. So when this happened, the folks from Kansas that dealt with the Joplin tornado were here on our doorsteps the next day to help
It
us.
was pretty amazing. Still is. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And what day is that?
It is the 19th.
The 19th?
The 19th of July.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Would the people from Veolia come on? Robert? Oh, there you are.
Mayor, council, this is a different time that I'm speaking with you. I actually have good news. So many times I come to Steve's office and he's, you need money, you need something's broke, or we need to get fixed. But tonight, Veolia Water and Veolia Energy joined together to make a donation to you. This donation is for $25,000. Is to go to the Moore Central Relief Fund. And bottom line, Veolia Water is very proud and honored to be a part of this community. And we're just want to say, hey, we're here to help, and that we want to do our part. So
We certainly
After
appreciate
that-
you guys.
we have a check. Now, I did give the real check to Mr. Corbett.
Yeah, everybody hands them over to
He's the
him.
money man, so he has the real check, but.
Okay. All right, yeah, bring it up here. Everybody gather around. Yeah.
One more time.
We'll take these kind of pictures. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take these kind of pictures anyway. We really appreciate you all.
Absolutely. Nope.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was a nice surprise. Okay, now on with the agenda. Item 2 is the consent docket. Item A is approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held June 17, 2013. Item B is receive the minutes of the regular planning commission meeting held May 14, 2013. Item C is appoint Brent Wilbarger to the Pioneer Library System Board of Trustees for a 3-year term. Item D is approve resolution number 77713, establishing the 911 emergency telephone fee rate for the calendar year 2014. Excuse me. Item E is approve a contract between the City of Moore excuse me, and the Moore Public Library System in the amount of $295,058.68 to provide 7 uniformed school resource officers for FY 13-14. Item F is approve an interlocal agreement with the Board of County Commissioners in Cleveland County for grading, drainage, and surfacing of certain streets within the City of Moore. Item G is approve a field lease agreement with with the Moore Girls Softball Association, MGSA, for 1 year. And item H is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2012-2013 in the amount of $4,099,525.48.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Just for the record, you mistakenly said the Moore Library System when you was reading that, so.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
For the contract with the school
yeah,
system.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I did. Okay. I'll note that. We have a motion and a second. Anything else? Not, would you call for the vote, please?
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes,
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 3 is consider resolution number 77613, adopting the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funds for 2013-2014. This is the annual action plan and submitting the same to the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Mayor, Council, each year the Department of Housing and Urban Development requires community development block grant recipients to submit an annual action plan. During the upcoming 2013-14 program year, the City of Moore has been allocated $309,731. And the projects we're going to address is public infrastructure projects, Regency Park sewer improvements, City of Moore utility assistance programs for fire hydrants and water meters damaged in the disaster. Public services, aging services, Bethesda, Cleveland County Habitat for Humanity, Moore Youth and Family Services, the school-based program and the community prevention programs, and then administration and planning for publications, fair housing, and neighborhood master planning. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Make a motion we approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? Just want to thank the federal government for giving this to us. I know we weren't scheduled on the list, but after the disaster, the secretary called and said that we were getting this, so I was very pleased. I want to thank him personally for doing that. With that being said, would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Item number 4 is consider the final plat for Janeway Distribution Center Addition located in the northeast corner of Section 10, Township 10 North, Range 3 West, being south of Northwest 27th and east of Janeway Avenue. The application by Malcolm Hall. Planning Commission recommended approval of this item 6-0. This is in Ward 2.
Mayor and Council, this property is currently zoned C5. The proposed heavy commercial development includes 6 lots on approximately 2.5 acres. Water and sanitary sewer are located along Janeway. However, utilities must be extended to serve all the lots within the addition. There is no FEMA designated floodplain located on the property, and a fee in lieu of detention is required. A drainage report and calculations and plans have already been turned in to our city's consulting engineer for his review. So it can work with the existing drainage system in the Skyview Terrace addition to the south. The final plat has been slightly amended from the preliminary plat by eliminating 2 lots along Janeway Avenue. This results in only lots 1 and 2 being accessed from Janeway Avenue, and a total of 3 curb cuts will be allowed. Lot 1 is a double frontage lot and shall be allowed an additional curb cut from Vermeer, and the remaining lots will have access to Vermeer Drive. Staff recommends approval of the final plat. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
What are we going to build on it?
The applicant does have a user for the larger lot along Janeway Avenue, which is Lot 2. It is going to be a multi-tenant retail center.
I'm sorry,
Probably
what?
not retail, a heavy commercial use center. People who might have businesses, I think he has one that does a roofing contractor, someone who would need some storage, outside storage of equipment and materials.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve?
All right. Thank you. Thank you both. Do we have any oppositions on this?
No.
No one signed up? Okay. With that, would you call for the vote? If there's no other comments.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 5 is consider an agreement with the Oklahoma City Community Foundation for the administration of donation accounts.
Mayor and Council, shortly after the May 20th tornado, we had many individuals and businesses calling us wanting to donate for the recovery from the storm. We encouraged them to give to Red Cross, United Way, Salvation Army, all the large charities that handle these events. But many individuals were insistent that the funds come here and that they be given to the City of Moore. So we have received considerable funds since May 20th as donation funds. Some of them are specifically designated for a certain purpose, but we have a large amount of money for general donation relief effort. And this particular agenda item is asking for your approval to basically turn those funds over to the Oklahoma City Community Foundation. They would still be, the funds would still be at your discretion. They would still be at your direction as to what the purpose of those funds would be. However, The foundation would receive deposits of those funds. They would send thank you letters. They would account for them, and they would issue the payments to whoever you choose. It's just a method to handle these funds. The foundation is a 501c3 organization that's been in operation for many years. They do this on a regular basis. So what we're asking for is your approval on this to turn the funds over to them. They will also have an option on their website for future donations, as we do on our website. So we'll just continue with what we're doing, but we would basically turn over the administration of those funds to the foundation in the future.
Who determines where that money's gonna be spent?
Well, the city council would. It's completely at your discretion.
So why would we turn it to Oklahoma City?
Why would we?
Yeah.
Well, it's just it's a mechanism to handle all these funds. We can do it internally, but there's considerable work with it. They're set up to handle this, to do this. We're not necessarily set up to do this. We can, but they're better able to do it, and
Are there
it was
administrative costs?
there are no costs. I talked to the director today, and there is a letter in your packet to that effect, but there's no cost. They will do this as a service to us for the recovery efforts. And just to give you an idea, earlier today I totaled the donations that have come in to the city, and it totals $422,000 at $545.
Wow.
So $422,000 have come in since May 20th as a donation. Now, some of them are designated for certain purposes. For example, the organization out of California, they wrote us checks totaling $150,000. 50 of it was at the mayor's discretion, and as I understand, he wanted to give that to Highland East Band for their band room and instruments. But some of it is designated funds or designated donations, but there is several things they gave for. Animal welfare, we've received almost $100,000 for our animal shelter and the care for the pets.
Wow.
There's after the designated funds are out, there's around $150,000 that's undesignated completely. So that would be at your discretion what you want to see done with those funds. And my office, ever since the donations came in, we've been tracking them, depositing them. We have sent out thank you letters to everyone that's given, anywhere from $50,000 to some children having Kool-Aid stands sent us $5 and $10. Every one of them, we've sent a thank you letter to them. And so it's been quite a project, but with your approval, we would basically turn this over to the Oklahoma City Community Foundation. And they would look for your direction for expenditure of any of the funds.
I might say this, the Oklahoma City Community Foundation, I think, is the largest community foundation in the country, and is widely recognized as being the premier foundation for community projects and so forth. And I'm familiar with several people who are either serving as directors or have, and these are people who are significant leaders of high integrity, and I think even the director of the Community Foundation, which is Nancy Anthony, has
Right.
a superb reputation in the community. So it's a clean way, I think, of handling this. They know what they're doing. They
Right.
keep the money invested, and I just think it's a good way to go. And plus the fact that they are a 501c3.
Right.
I like the fact that we have input as to where those funds will go, unlike some of the others. Obviously, we would like it all to go to help the people, but we really don't have much say as to where those dollars will go. So this we would, and I do like that.
Why wouldn't we just wanna divvy it up amongst the people that built back for like a 1-year credit on their water, sewer, and utilities.
Well, is that something that we could do through them?
Why would we need to go through them?
What kind of, you said that there'd just be a lot of oversight if you were to do it, just a lot of extra work, or?
Well, it's
What?
a matter of issuing checks through our office, which could be done, but they're just set up to do it. I mean, that's part of the business of what they do, and it's just totally your choice, council's choice on use of these funds and how we do it. I think it would be cleaner and easier for us if we did turn it over to someone. What we did is when the donations started coming in, and this was completely different from past tornadoes, this did not happen. This one was different. We set up a separate bank account to handle this, and we set up on our website 2 or 3 PayPal accounts to receive donations that way. So there's various funds and accounts that these donations came in, and we're just looking for a clean, simple way to administer all those funds.
Well, I like it. It's basically you have a group of people that are set up to do this and they're willing to do it for free.
Yes,
And so that's
in summary, that's
you
what
know,
it
and
is.
to me, that's basically it's like volunteers and like giving us a service.
Right.
You know, they're here to help us
And
out.
this,
so.
this agreement that's in your packet is for 1 year. So they've agreed to do this at no charge to the city for 1 year.
The question I have is why? Why does somebody want to play with the money, do all the work for free?
Something they're just trying to volunteer to help out.
Is it a volunteer group? I'm not familiar with it, so. I guess
Actually,
that's why I'm asking.
they're a pretty good size operation. They have a website, it's occf.org. if
I
anybody
got a
wants
website,
to look
but-
at it.
You know?
Well, they have, they have millions and millions. It's the largest community foundation in the country.
Okay.
And probably several $100 million at least. And these people know what they're doing.
Are you familiar with any previous agreements between other cities or other agencies where
Well, now
they've shown some success?
the Oklahoma City Community Foundation did this same thing that we're talking about here following the Murrah bombing for Oklahoma City. So they've done this for other cities, and it's just an option for us.
They serve as the, I want to say administrator of several hundred different trusts and foundations. I mean, these people are not rank amateurs. They're the finest in the country.
The Moore Public School Foundation works with them, and they donated, I think, it's been several years ago, I think they gave that foundation like $300,000, but they help administrate some of their funds too. They're a class act.
Okay, I'm just not familiar with it, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Let me just say, again, that they're only just a holding point for the money. You all have not made any decisions or given any directions to us with regard to what to do with any of this money, except for that's already been designated by the people who made the donations. So at some point, whenever there's a need that you all see or that we begin to see, whether it's something that the mayor mentioned like that or anything that'll directly benefit our folks, then we'll bring an agenda item to you all and ask for your consideration at that time. And then
I have one question before we vote. Randy, is that legal?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. We're good.
Just one other quick thing on this. It may be good to have some procedure in place if somebody approaches and said that, they have a need. They just ask, or is it an application process, what the need is, they're gonna write it out, or do we have those
Yeah.
things in place already?
Well,
Or is that gonna be
no,
that foundation, or is that gonna be?
we don't. We could develop something, but
Probably a good idea, just so it's the same from day one.
Right.
Before we start
Yeah, I
administering,
would think
giving
we
out
need to
anything.
develop a process.
Okay.
A good problem to have, though.
Yes, it is. Very different.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Thank you.
Terry
Thanks, Tim.
Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 6 is consider ordinance number 75113, amending Part 5, Chapter 2, Article A of the Moore City Code by amending Section 5-212, defining a tornado area and establishing the minimum building standards within the area.
Mayor and council, this ordinance is in response to your request from last meeting to come up with some standards. You may recall that since last meeting, we've had a moratorium in effect for the building permits in the tornado area, waiting for just this kind of ordinance. What we have done is we have went back through the building code section of the Moore City Code, and in that there was some language from the May 3rd, 99 tornado that we felt was appropriate and applicable to this tornado. So we have made several changes to the existing ordinances already in place. We have revised the statement that any of these building code standards need to be applied to the tornado of May 3rd, 1999, and we've made that into a more generic statement to any tornado that is declared a federal disaster. That way it will cover us in this tornado and any tornado that should happen in the future. The other changes were basically that the minimum square footage of a structure that did not have plat restrictions already governing it would be a 1,000 square foot minimum for square footage. Some of the items that were already in place that we will just be reinforcing in this particular situation is the 50% brick requirement for all structures that are residential structures that are built in the tornado area, except for the Foxglove addition. That one is going to be accepted out because that addition was built with no bricking requirements to begin with. So the people in the Foxglove addition will have their option to either go back with a all vinyl house or to comply with any percentage of bricking requirements. Then of course, that each residential dwelling should have a attached garage. So we think that that is a very reasonable standard. One other comment that I would make that's not necessarily addressed in this ordinance, but we feel is an important policy to have as we are rebuilding is that lot combinations in the R2 and R3 zoning districts should not be allowed. That would open up the door for duplexes and more intense housing options to those lots. If you are located in R1 zoning district, then we would look at the lot combinations and obviously if everything else was the same, we would go ahead and approve that. Now that's not to say that people cannot just purchase a lot that neighbors their own and use it for open space or a garden or something else, but they just cannot legally combine those lots. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them at this time.
Make a motion that we approve this ordinance.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this item? If not, would you call for the vote?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item 6.1 is considered, this is an addendum on your sheet. Item 6.1 is considered declaring an emergency clause for ordinance number 751-13.
I would so move.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion on this? It just makes the ordinance effective immediately. Would you please call for the vote?
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Elizabeth, on the building permits, the moratorium that we did at the last meeting expires today.
Yes.
So they can come in tomorrow with their plans?
Yes, we actually have been accepting plans for them to drop off and leave with us. We have been reviewing those as they have come in, assuming that you would be approving these regulations that we had spoken about last week. And so we are going to have a lot ready to go tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
I think everybody up here is ready to see rooftops.
Yeah, I think we
See
are.
those.
So Elizabeth, out of curiosity, have all those plans looked okay? As far as you know?
For the most part,
Good.
for the most part, most of the plans look much higher aesthetic, I don't know, quality than what you would expect to see. We have a couple that probably are a little bit under what we would hope for, but they still meet these requirements. But I think in all, we're going to see a much better built environment.
Good.
It just may not fit in with the existing addition.
That's right, as long as it's getting better.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Item number 7, this is one we talked about the other day, and you guys didn't want to do it, so I would accept a tabling motion at this time.
Make a motion that we table items 7,
How about 7, 8, and 9?
8, 8, and 9.
Okay,
I will second that.
all right, thank you both. We have a motion to table items 7, 8, and 9. Would you call for the vote, please?
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, as tabled. At this time, we'll recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item number 10 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Public Works Authority meeting held June 17, 2013. Item B is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2012-2013 in the amount of $638,565.46.
Make a motion to approve?
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote? If there's no other discussion, please.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. This time we'll recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item number 11, item A is accept the minutes of the regular Moore Risk Management meeting held June 17, 2013. Item B is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2012-2013 in the amount of $239,847.75.
Move to accept.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on these items? Everybody get their claims questions asked and answered, and any notes or changes to the minutes? If not, would you call for the vote?
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and reconvene the city council meeting. Item number 12 is citizens forum for items not on the agenda, and I believe we have one person signed up to speak. No, that's on Walgreens. There's no one signed up to speak. Anyone want to speak? Oh, never mind. There's a bunch of
Covered
them.
up here.
It was covered up by the flag. Okay. Helga Lassiter?
Get to this point, you need to have 4 eyes. I'm Helga Lassiter. I live in Moore since 1965, in 608 Plaza Drive. And yes, I'm a naturalized citizen since 1961. I'm coming here not on my behalf, but on behalf of the citizen of Moore, the ones which are building or plan on to rebuild. I am not speaking, hopefully, about what I'm thinking or saying. I have this piece of paper here, and that is a copy from Yahoo. Anybody can pull this up. It is Yahoo Insight in Tornado Alley Building Practices Boost Damages. Now, not only did I read this, I received a little note from overseas, and the question was, what in the world is going on over there in your city? Oh boy. Here they mention, for instance, they are not talking about more Plaza Towers area, because these were old houses, no? And Homestead, nevertheless. They are speaking here about homes which have been built after the 1999 tornado. In this case, they are mentioning, you see, Featherstone addition. There are more additions. They're talking about the structure should be stronger. Believe it or not, the government does something sometimes, and they even figure out that there is a possibility to eliminate some of the structural damage. And they have very good results with that. Some of the results were so excellent, they finally implemented it in the hurricane areas, which is Florida, wherever, they don't mention it. So after they implemented that in the hurricane areas, with good results, by which they tested the wind strength of about 130 miles an hour, by which Oklahoma has about 90 miles an hour. They came here after the 99 tornado and spoke to, these are the findings. If you implement such and such, the structural damage will be greatly reduced, possible even lives. They also said naturally, it's not possible. F4 and F5 is impossible, yeah? We know that. So it says here, current building code minimum applies in Oklahoma, 90 straight winds for 3 seconds. Tim Marshall, it says here, a meteorologist and engineer from Hack Engineering in Irving, Texas, told the city about poor construction practices in a huge 99 tornado. Now, this sentence here, I'm coming to the end of this, this I'm going to tell you. No, there is really nothing we can do, but here is to the F4 and F5. But another thing is interesting. Local communities and some population of 10,000 or less have no inspectors. I don't really believe that, but I'm quoting the paper. Now they came back after they asked the city of Moore after 99 tornado. Hopefully they went at that time away and said, there's gonna be another tornado. And it happened, and it's so horrible. And I thank every one of you, all the helpers, and every one of me. They're driving by my house literally day and night. I thank you all for that. You are guys so great. They found, for instance, nails hammered into wood at a 90-degree angle provide little resistance. I don't know anything about building, but this is what it says. Research engineer code specialist for Simpson Strong Tie Company in McKinney, Texas, saw 2 nails sticking up where the stop wall was. Driving nail in the wood at 45-degree angle would definitely be more vegetable. More resistance than 90 degrees. There are 2 houses he saw standing, and they were built with hurricane ties or metal straps to bind the roof to the walls. They stood, whatever they stood. The connection between walls and concrete foundational home were another area where more construction was poor. Also, they had left other instructions which are not mentioned here. The wind blew preferably garage doors. They need to have braces to avoid collapse. And after that, I read this and made a copy, and I thought, I have to come and tell you this. And then I flipped around on the radio, and I thought maybe I find some worth listening to, but there was a man speaking from one of these test places. Wouldn't you know, I came across, and I got the end of it. And he also said that what they had implemented it in a hurricane area was indeed helpful for the structure of buildings, and they were hoping that more to do this. Well, now I come to this, which is, and it says on, is it 5 minutes? I'm sorry. We didn't really change the building codes after the last tornado in 99 happened. I'm not going to quote who said that, is in the paper. For people on a limited income, they look at the probability of being struck is very limited. The chances are not great to have another tornado. Now we know that, and I'm not even born here. I know we're gonna have another one, and this is so horrible. How can anybody in this group make this statement? Is it true? Must be. It's in Yahoo. We are not, and then when you have a possibility to invest just a little bit more to make your structure safer, wouldn't it be the right thing to do to let the people decide that for themselves? That's why this, and that we possibly don't have another tornado, this is not even debatable, this sentence. And so consequently, I'm asking to please consider. Have a forum, have people come to you, open forum, question and answers. People have questions. Why don't you have those? Some people know what they're talking about it. I do not. I just repeat what the paper says. But open up, say, people, we rebuild. What would you like? What is possible? What can we not do? Not just present them that and then say people with limited income. Now they might have just scraped up another $4,000 or $5,000 to make it more livable. Yes, would they? Probably. So this is why I'm asking, consider this, have an open forum, yes? And I want to thank Mr. Drake to open up about the park. That's nice. The Veterans Park is nice, but it's too small. I don't really see what you can do with it. Thank you for asking us. That is a step forward. Because when the, I call it the Frisbee Park was built, there was a lot of people that were scared what come crawling out of the woods. And they said, one man said to me, I'm glad I have a dog. Mr. Blair, thank you for coming by and asking us how we are doing. Thank you. You'll be a great councilman. If you ask me any questions, I just quoted that. And I ask you people to consider to have an open forum. For some reason, very few people have the courage to stand in front of you and speak. But they speak with each other when they have coffee. They should come here and ask you questions. So please, open the forum. Let people come to you and ask them questions. Answer them, because it's your pride, and I want to put that still yet. I have spoken to people about that. Did you pull that up? Oh, really? No, I didn't. And you know what? I'm sorry to tell you, the few people I spoke to, you know what they said? That's not surprising. I'm sad for that, because you all do a great job. And that's all. Have an open forum, please. Do that for the people.
Mrs.
Yes?
Lasser,
Thank you.
we had a work study session last week on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? And that's what we talked about, is the new building codes that was adopted in Joplin, Missouri, about us doing the same thing. But we wanted to bring the builders in and a lot of different citizens in to actually discuss that. But that is something that we're doing.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I'm going back to this sentence, and then every time I read it, and I have to quit reading it, making the statement they probably have not a limited income. Come on, yeah? For your livelihood, for somebody investing their home, limited income, we don't do 45 degrees. You know, at night it goes faster, yeah? And then we probably won't have another tornado. We all know that we are, I don't know why we are loved up there, but I guess, I don't know why. But this is absurd having this statement come from this city, not city building. I thank you very much for listening to me. Yes?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reverend Larry Hutchison.
My name is Larry Hutchison. I have a small business as well as a pastor in this community. I've been here since 2007. And where my heart is that I've been here for 6 years, and in 6 years I've been here, I've been in 3 tornadoes. And the first tornado I was in 2010, that was a smaller tornado. My family was in our closet, and if a F5 or F4 would have went through there, it would have killed my entire family. And my heart is just to kind of present something here today. I believe that if each person does their part, you know, we can accomplish something great. And I believe when we talk about having a community shelters, I feel like that we can't make every 57,000 people have a place for them. But I know a lot of people are getting personal shelters, but we have places like apartments and complexes and different people that can't afford to have shelters. I was actually in the one in May 20th. We were at the American Title Company, and our church van got destroyed, but because we were underground, our family was safe. And so we didn't have a place to go May 31st, and just like thousands of other people, we tried to run away from it, got trapped on the highway, and if a tornado would have came down there, would have been thousands of people killed, which proved to me that we don't have resources, we don't have ways to be able to try to protect people and to be able to give them a means and a resource. So what I wanted to do as a pastor is to be able to give our opportunity to be able to say that we're willing to put a community shelter on our church property to be able to try to help those out. And all I can do is my part. And if you know resources or funds, we already have people that are willing to put it on there, put it in for us for free. It's just getting the cement, the things like that, so that we can do our part. Even if it's 100 people, it's 100 people, we save lives. And even if we can't fit them there, if I'm looking for a shelter and I know I go to one, I know I can get to another, I know there's means. And we knew from May 20th that it was going to start hitting around 1, 2 o'clock. We were getting our kids out, we were doing our part, ready to be able to get into a shelter, and we hit 5-10 minutes at the American Title Company before it actually hit. We were on our way to Westmore to actually take cover there. They said it was there. So I just want to kind of present that to offer our church property as for free, to be able to have something like that. I know sure other churches, even our parks that we're putting money into, I think if we have a means or resource to be able to give some people some help, I feel like it's a step forward.
Okay, appreciate that very much. Randall?
Yes, sir. The mayor, city manager, city council, to all the folks out here, I'd like to know that I come to y'all talking about a dome home that I brought to the city council here a month ago, saying that it could survive an F5 tornado.
Sir, you want to address the council, please?
To the F5 tornado, that we do have a dome home that can survive F5 tornadoes, that the appraisal value does go up, not down. I gave you all information on it. I told you all to contact Colonel Stipes, who's retired Army, who commanded the Army base out in the Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands. All these buildings were out there. She survived typhoons. She survived everything that the weather could throw at her in the Pacific Ocean. At the same time, we've had buildings down in Florida that have survived 3 hurricanes. All the other buildings were destroyed 3 times. Again, in talking about appraisals and talking about this meeting last week that happened, I was not informed that everybody here on the city council had my phone number. I was not included in any of this stuff from last year.
Wait, hold on. There's 60,000 people here. We don't get on the phone and call everybody and tell them, hey, there's a meeting. We post it outside on the door like legal notice. And your homes are ugly, in my opinion. And I don't think anybody wants to live next door to one. We don't live in a hurricane zone. We live in a tornado zone. You say they're tested to F5, they haven't been tested yet.
May I finish, Mayor?
Sure.
Okay. My buildings are tested by Texas Tech University. You have the information. 8,000 PSI. No 2x4 can go through them, but they can go through brick. They can go through metal roofs, but they can't go through my building. My building is like Kevlar. And I've explained this to you all. Every one of you all have had the chance to review this information. At the same time, you've been stuck on the aesthetics instead of on the safety. The Moore Independent School District has bought our first building over their computers and their servers, which went down, which meant their payroll and their grades went down. And they have decided that the very first building that they're putting back in the Moore Independent School District is my dome building. And I find it absolutely incredible that the rules involving the ordinances are now against me building dome homes in Moore, Oklahoma, because they aren't aesthetically pleasing. I didn't come up here from where I was to build unsafe homes. I came up here with my corporation to try to help you all build homes that wouldn't become a part of the debris field as they were torn apart, which is what these matchstick homes are. Whether you rebuild them, unless you rebuild them out of concrete, they will not survive the storms. In your More American newspaper, it says here that everybody here believes that the weather will be getting worse. That is by Mona Nelson at 48 of Norman, Oklahoma. Also says here on the back page that 88% of either liberals or conservatives say that they want protection. And the way you're building homes now, with what you're saying about brick and what you're saying about these ordinances, is not going to protect the public. I have gone through and tried to tell you all again, and I'll say it again, that my buildings will cause your appraisal tax values to go up because the houses will last 300 years. The silicon with the 3M tape, those seals provide a 75-year seal. These houses have been proven down along the Gulf Coast, out in the Pacific Ocean, in Army installations all over the world now. There's a 30-year record. And I'd like to say something else to everyone. I try to get this into the newspapers. I try to get this on television stations. I had a conversation with this little lady right here, and took it to her newspaper, and all I was asked to do was pay for it. I told them I could not pay for it. I was not given the money to pay for it. They want to run a human interest story, a story that could save lives. My company was more than happy to, but we were not going to pay for the right for a human interest story to be run in the newspapers. I find that to be un-American. So our company decided that we would do it the hard way. We would go out and inform all of you all. And I did. I've talked with almost every single one of you. And yet I have found now that you all are totally against this just because of the aesthetics of the building, instead of the fact that this building has proven itself over a 30-year period, and none of these homes that will now be rebuilt can stand up to the Tornado Protocol Impact Test conducted by Texas Tech University. The 2x4s will go through brick.
I'm not talking
Soft
2x4s, I'm talking a school bus that went through an apartment complex up here in '99, went through it like it was a cartoon.
Mayor,
And your building will not withstand that either.
Mayor, I'm saying to you, it can. The results are there. You won't believe the statistical evaluation of Texas Tech and of the fact of what has happened down in these other places where they've had hurricanes and debris. And hurricanes cause tornadoes. Tornadoes do not cause hurricanes. So I'd like to say to you again that my product will survive F5 tornadoes. In fact, the Moore Independent School District had us do extra beefing up just to make sure that under no circumstances would our building fail. And the people of Moore, Oklahoma, there has not been a public forum debate on this, and I have not been allowed, either through the newspaper or through any of the television stations, to get this story out. They want me to pay money up front.
Well, let me kind of stop you right there, because you have a job to do. You're selling your product, right? You're selling your product. Right?
I'm informing the public. I am not a solicitor. I am a manufacturer rep.
Okay, you're selling your product, and I appreciate that, but I want you to understand something. If you heard our comment about 20 minutes ago, we're working with builders. The nice lady spoke a little bit ago. We'll be getting her input. We are getting together, and we're going to figure out what are the best homes to build. But you understand, we can't just rush in right now. It's been a month. We're not going to rush into something and say, all right, tear all these buildings down, let's put up some dome homes. We're not going to do that. We're going to work with builders that know how to build things.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk to engineers. We're going to get input from citizens, and we're going to figure out how to make our homes better and safer. But we're not prepared at the moment to lay down the law and say everyone is going to build a dome home. There's no more rectangular brick homes.
But what I heard from your city manager today while I was talking to him was that actually there would not be any building of any dome homes because of the way things were being written into the ordinances to deny me from, saying 50%, this was said by the little lady just now, about 50% brick construction and attached garage.
Okay.
Well, I can do all that with my building. I can, if you want to spend the extra money to put brick outside of a building that's like Kevlar, then that's a waste of money in my opinion. I've also discussed other ways of how berms could be built up around the houses just because of the the aerodynamics of the wind
Yeah,
flow.
and we're all aware of that. You've spoken with all of us, and to
But-
be honest with you, I don't have a problem with your dumb home, but I'm not about to tell citizens they have to build one,
No, sir.
you know?
But
I
they
mean,
have
it's-
not been informed, and that's the reason why I'm making
Sir,
a point now.
so you know this tornado happened a month ago?
What, sir?
This tornado happened just about a month ago.
No, I understand.
Okay, you gotta give us some time, man.
No, I'm not.
You are in the middle, we're still cleaning debris off the damn streets.
No,
Give
sir.
us some time.
I'm not
Time.
trying to belittle anything. I'm just reacting
You're
to the
shoving your
old-
dumb home down our throats.
No, sir, I'm not. I'm trying to say to you all that under the ordinances that are being developed now, I'm being ordinanced out of Moore, Oklahoma.
And I want you to know, all of us have heard from you, and I appreciate what you have to say. I teach math, I understand the physics in it, but you need to give us some time, and we have things that we need to figure out. And I want you to understand, you know, I'll remember these things. You know, I appreciate what you had to say to me, you know?
Something
So-
else is, a long time ago, when this city was formed, 3 of the most prominent people lived in sod houses underground. And I think we've come past that a little bit. At least I hope I have. I don't want to live underground. I don't want to live in a dome home. I think that's the bottom line.
But that
Appreciate
is
you
right.
coming in. Your time is up. Thanks. Item 13 is executive session. Section 307, Title 25. Oh, excuse me. I skipped over items from the city council.
I do have one. It's a little early to talk about this, but at some point, I would like to spearhead or work with a committee of people from the community, the schools, and the city hall to think about maybe putting a kind of a memorial out at maybe, say, Little River Park that has something to do with teachers and children, you know, something like we did veterans. But I think being that it was damaged by the tornado as well as the schools, I thought, you know, that'd be kind of a nice little area to put a little memorial up. So I just want to kind of throw that out there as something that maybe in time, I know we gotta give it some time, but, you know, maybe
I
that's
agree.
something we
That'd
can
be
work on.
nice.
So,
I think is Lowe's gonna help us on a park, Todd? Yeah, see, Lowe's has already offered to help on that project, so, yeah. You're in
whenever
charge
they
of
want to do it,
that?
I'll be happy to, I mean,
You're ready?
I'm serious, I think it's something we could, I think a lot of people, that could do some healing, you know?
Do we need to take a vote on Robert being in charge of that?
I'm there, I got you.
Okay, it's unanimous. Thanks, Robert. Anybody else from the
Had
city
a,
council?
just a, couple of calls in reference to the debris and the path that the trucks are taking. And a couple of folks have got flat tires. I don't know if we can run a sweeper over those streets, or, I know, Bryant, probably not, that road is about done, but, they, on 27th Street, they were having some issues, so just cleaning up periodically, and maybe we're doing that. Things are gonna happen. You're gonna get nails in your tires.
I know with all the roofing that's about to happen, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more nails out there with all the roofers.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Stanley, you guys, I'm sure you guys are running that sweeper like crazy, aren't you?
We do, but we can sweep those streets.
Thank you.
I think most of the flats are coming through the residential area.
Yeah, there's just so much debris.
Right.
I'm surprised you get flats all in that truck.
Fortunate.
We drove all through that. Okay, anybody else? Any items from the city manager?
Just a couple of things, Mayor. First, I just want to say to those folks out in the damaged areas, they may have gotten a, what is it, green or yellow or orange or something placard on some of those. We did several hundred of those over the weekend. What we are trying to accomplish with those to start out with, we're just asking people to get in contact with City Hall and the Community Development Department, just to get in contact with us, let us know what your plans are, let us know if you're having issues, let us know, again, what your problems are, and see if we can help with those. However, at some point, in the not too distant future, we're gonna have to set some deadlines out there with regard to whether these homes have been removed, whether you give us ROE or right of entry approval, or you have a contractor do it, whatever, it's fine, but there's quite a number of homes out there that nothing's been done to since May 20th. So right now, all we're asking people to do is just to contact us, let us know what's going on so we can know. We had a deadline of May 31st the May 31st tree limbs of today. That's the area where we just had tree limb damage around outside of the core damage area. So we need people to be aware that if they're putting things out still, then they're gonna have quite likely either use their Terminator pickup or take it away themselves, because we're gonna have to put a stop to picking up stuff that we're having spring cleaning going on now, which we want people to do that, but we can't continue to pick it up like that. Also, just remind everybody on a little bit of a positive note, we are having our July 4th activities this Thursday. 10 to 10 activities out there. The car show will start at 8 a.m. Out at Buck Thomas Park, capped with our fireworks display at the end of the day. So we're going to have a day of fun that day, so a little bit of getaway for folks perhaps. And also for the council members, we're trying to shoot towards having a joint City Council and Parks Board meeting on July 29th. We're fairly certain of the date, but we'll make sure and confirm that with you, but kind of tentatively put that aside. That's a Monday night to have our consultants present the final proposed master plan for our new community or Central Park down here at 4th and Broadway to the Parks Board and to you all at the same time. So that work was put on hold for a little while, but started up again. So we're
28th or 29th?
29th is the date that Todd told me, I think. So that's a Monday evening, an off council meeting night. So that's all I have there.
Are you going to say anything about the new facility coming online?
The treatment plant?
Oh, yeah. Got to
That was,
mention that.
yeah, that was a red letter day last week, whenever the new wastewater treatment plant is fully operational now, and that was a good day. I still got a lot of work to do out there, but I'm anxious for you all and the public ultimately to go out there and see this operation, because it's
6 years in the making.
It's incredible. It's been a while. It has been a while.
It has,
Probably
since we
been-
started it. It's been a long time.
Planning and everything at least that long ago, yeah. But when you see it and whenever you get an understanding of the scope of it and all, you're gonna be impressed.
Good deal. Okay. Item 13 is executive session. Section 307, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes permits the public body to meet in executive session for certain specified reasons under certain specified conditions. It is the opinion of the city attorney that the city council may consider and adopt a motion to meet in executive session to discuss the following items. Item A, discuss and consider fiscal year 2013-2014 contract between the City of Moore and Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP Lodge 131, as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statutes 307B-2. Do we have a motion to meet in executive session?
So moved.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Would you call for the vote, please?
Terry Kavner.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Robert Kraus.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Scott Singer.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, we are adjourned to executive session. Thank you for coming.
And maybe it's not that, but
some of the ordinances in the paper tonight, like the ones to build the structure, you know, with the rebar. And I think it would be good to require people to have stores especially apartments, daycare centers, schools. You would think the schools would want it. Yeah.
You think I nominated you so fast? You nominate someone else, you can't get nominated yourself.
Last Tuesday.
It's better in the block all the time.
Olivetos?
When you leave
Oliveto.
the meeting.
Very good.
Very good.
I can't wait.
So I'll let you sign. He got a t-shirt with you.
Would you call the roll back, please?
Robert Kraus,
Present.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Scott Singer,
Here.
Terry Kavner,
Here.
David Roberts,
Here.
Mark Ham,
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here. Would you, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 2013, 14 contract between the City of Moore and FOP Lodge 131.
All right, thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item 14 is adjournment.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
thank you both. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Robert Kraus,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. We're adjourned.